this is Haeju from Go Inside Global.
Hi, I'm Haley Koo.
Humanity has constantly explored the unknown as we ventured deep under the ocean and launched the spaceships into space.
However, we aren't only exploring the outer universe, but now we are searching inside ourselves. What is the essence of the mind? Where did I come from? We're constantly asking questions and looking for answers.
So as a result, many meditation centers have been established across the globe. And many people have participated in various programs or are looking to participate. Now, join us in searching inside yourself with Go Inside Global.
Sunim, where to today?
Today, we are going to Shravasti Abbey in Seattle, established by Venerable Thubten Chodron. It is one of the first Buddhist community in the U.S.
Shravasti Abbey, located in Washington State near Seattle, is a Buddhist monastic community founded in 2003 by Venerable Thubten Chodron. The Abbey follows the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, emphasizing gender equality and providing a space for both monastics and lay practitioners to study, practice, and live the Buddhist teachings. The center offers opportunities for everyone to experience communal living, participate in service activities, and engage in various social outreach programs. The center offers opportunities for everyone to experience communal living, participate in service activities, and engage in various social outreach programs. The Abbey's social engagement is most focused on the prison Dharma outreach program, with additional involvement with local homeless and at-risk teams and active interfaith exchange. Venerable Thubten Chodron, the founder of Shravasti Abbey, was ordained in 1975 after attending a meditation course led by Lama Thubten Yeshe and Lama Zopa Rinpoche. She has been a key figure in establishing the Bhikshuni Sangha in American Buddhism and is highly respected worldwide as a spiritual teacher, author, and practitioner.
Venerable Thubten Chodron, the founder of Shravasti Abbey, is not only a spiritual leader who garners worldwide respect, but she's also played a significant role in establishing the Bhikshuni Sangha in the U.S.
Sunim, is it true that there aren't many countries where Bhikkhuni ordination lineage continue?
Yes, it's true. So the lineage of female monastics has remained in Mahayana Buddhism, including in countries such as South Korea, China, Taiwan, Vietnam, and Hong Kong. Interestingly, thanks to the efforts of many female leaders, the U.S. has a particularly high proportion of female practitioners. We are curious about the practices at Shravasti Abbey and how they apply meditation practices. Let's connect with Venerable Thubten Chodron via Zoom. Hello, Venerable. It's lovely to meet you again.
Same here. Good to see you.
It's so wonderful for you to be able to join us here at BTN Studios. Can you please introduce yourself to the viewers of BTN?
Okay. Well, my name is Bhikshuni Thubten Chodron, and I grew up in the United States. I met the Dharma in 1975 and ordained in 1977, and lived a good part of my life in Asia and also in Europe, and then wound up coming back to the US and establishing Shravasti Abbey in 2003.
Great. So you are currently at Shravasti Abbey, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So could you please introduce us to the Abbey?
Sure. Well, like I said, the Abbey began in 2003. I had aspired for a long time to start a monastery because I'm part of the first group of people from the West who got interested in Tibetan Buddhism. And when we ordained, there were no places no monasteries for us to go and live. The Tibetans are a refugee community. They fled Tibet from the communists in 1959. So when I went there, they were poor. They were just trying to set up their own monasteries. So there was no place really for us. We had to support ourselves and, kind of organize everything ourselves. And then gradually there came to be Dharma centers in the West, but those were geared for the lay disciples. And I always loved being near the Sangha, and I saw the existence of the Sangha and the existence of monasteries as something critically important, so that Buddhism can spread in the West and in other countries. And so I wanted to establish the Abbey. It's kind of I don't really know of any other places like this in the U.S. because we're specifically a training monastery, and we live as a community. And people really train and practice and are educated together.
Great. Isn't Shravasti the pilgrimage site in India where Buddha gave most of his sermons? Is there a correlation between the pilgrimage site and the name?
Yes, there is. From the beginning, I wanted to do a monastery that had both women and men, even though that's quite unusual, because I, as a woman, was excluded from many things in Buddhism. And by that time I had some male students, and I didn't want to exclude them. So I figure I have enough exclusion karma. I don't want any more. So, we wanted to have men and women here. When I first began, there were 3 residents, me and 2 cats. Yes. And now we have 24 people living here.
Wow.
And we have 4 cats. So of the 24, 22 are monastics, and then the other 2 are trainees.
And actually, I was asking about the communal living in Shravasti Abbey. So how do you practice in the communal living? So
Okay. First of all, when people come, we really educate that this is a community. It's not just a boarding house for monastics. So we have a daily schedule that everybody follows. An hour and a half of meditation in the morning, then breakfast. Then we do what we call offering service. It's what other people call work, but we like to think of what we do as offering service to the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and offering service to all the lay people who come here, and the lay people online who listen to all of our teachings and things online. Then before lunch, we have a short teaching. We do our blessings before lunch, blessing the food, and then there's a short break after lunch, and then we usually do some more offering service, and then there's a study period or a teaching period. Okay? And then in the evening, more meditation. So the community functions, everybody goes to these things. And so it's not that everybody's just doing whatever they want here, whatever they feel like, but there's a program in which we're trying to train people, into what the meaning of monasticism is. And of course, we have to do some intercultural work because we're copying an Asian model, but our culture here is different. So we can't do everything as it's done in Asia. we have to adapt it to the way things are done here.
Oh.
Yeah. So we talk a lot about that. And people, we'd really try and bring people together so that they support each other in their Dharma practice.
Great.
Going back to the point about cultural differences, I know that a lot of people in the United States, they might not be used to living in a community or like communal living. What have been some of their experiences?
Oh, you're right. They aren't used to it at all. In the West, people are very individualistic. So they are used to being able to do what they want, go somewhere when they want to go, and so on. But here at the Abbey, you can't do that, because it depends on the needs of the community. So when at first people really have a hard time getting used to that, to have such a very structured daily schedule. And so, there's different problems that arise. I'm too tired. I don't have enough time to do this. The usual thing. And then slowly people adjust and they get used to it.
It happens in Korea, right?
Yes.
Especially with younger generation as well.
Yeah.
So in Korea, we have the temple stay program, which is the lay people go to the temple and stay there for like 2 days, 3 days, or 7 days, or for a month. So do you have this kind of a program in Shravasti Abbey?
Oh, yes. Yes, we do that. In fact, we just finished a 7-day program for young adults.
Great.
So people age 18 to 28 or 29, then they come and they stay for a week and they hear teachings. They join in our regular daily schedule and have the experience of really getting involved in the Dharma day in and day out. Then over the weekend, we had a 1-day course. One of our monks taught that. At the end of the month, we have another program called Exploring Monastic Life. And this is for people who are thinking of ordaining, so that they can come and learn what ordained life is like. Because there aren't a lot of Western Buddhist monks and nuns around, so the lay people don't have a lot of examples to look to. So we have to have a special course where they can really come and talk about, what it means to be a monastic in this day and age.
Wonderful.
And then in the winter we have a 3-month retreat. And then we have other programs, retreats and courses throughout the year that the lay people can also come to.
Wonderful, great.
I know that a lot of people around the world and in the US are very interested in your programs. Can people from Korea that visit the Abbey join these programs as well?
Oh, of course. Great. Yeah, we have people from all over the world coming to visit.
So
some of our monastics are from other countries as well. Not everybody here was born and raised in America.
That's true.
Yeah. So
you also talked about the Young Buddhist Exploration Program, just in the question previously. I know that the Abbey also offers various programs to explore Buddhism. Do you think that exploring religion during your youth or in your teen years can give a positive impact to one's lifestyle?
Oh, yes, very much. Just from my own personal experience, I know when I was young, I was asking a lot of questions. What's the meaning of my life? Why am I here? I'm going to die one day, so what is being alive? What does it mean? What's my purpose? And I always had the feeling that it must have to do with helping people. But, none of the other religions that I encountered could really show a really strong purpose for our life. And so that's just speaking of myself, but in general terms, these are the kinds of questions that young adults are dealing with. They ask these existential questions, and then of course as they get older, then they want to explore, well, am I going to get married, and what are the causes for a good relationship, and if I'm going to have a career, what kind of career do I want to have? What is going to be meaningful to me? And so that comes up a lot at this age. And then also, people are just developing their own self-confidence. And, they often feel very unsure of themselves, very insecure. And so I think, when they encounter Buddhism, and especially when they can live with a community that is talking about these issues, then that meets a really deep need in them. Because a lot of the things they usually do with their friends, they go out drinking, they go dancing, they go hiking, they go here and there. But to have the opportunity to explore these more serious topics with people their own age is, I think, quite important.
Right. So how can we apply for the retreat in your Shravasti Abbey?
If people go to our website, shravastyabbey.org, or they could just write shravasti.org. And then there's all the material there about the courses and the schedules. And then there's an application, and people fill out the application, send it in to us, and then, we arrange for them to come.
Great. So I think there might be some of the Korean people will visit the Shravasti Abbey.
I hope so. A lot of more young people definitely need to go there.
Right.
Yeah, it would be wonderful. We really welcome people from international places, different cultures, because I think it's so educational for everybody.
Right. And someday we are going to go there.
Right.
Okay.
Both of us will join you.
Yes, please wait for us. And now we understand that you also hold a medicine Buddha Puja. So what does puja mean?
Okay. Medicine Buddha, I know it's one of the Buddhas. It's found also in China. I'm not sure. Do you have medicine Buddha in Korea?
We have in Korea, yes.
Yeah. And so a puja is an offering ceremony, but it's actually a meditation where you imagine, in this case, you would imagine the medicine Buddha in the space in front of you with his body made of light. And then you make prostrations and offerings, make confession of our downfalls, rejoice in our own and others' merit, request the Buddhas to remain forever until samsara ends, and to please teach and guide us. And then we dedicate the merit from that. And so we do that kind. It's called the 7-limb prayer. It's similar to the 10 limbs in the Gandavyuha Sutra. Yeah, and in the Avatamsaka Sutra, it's the last chapter of the Avatamsaka. So it's similar to that. And then we, in the puja, there's a mantra for the medicine Buddha that contains his name. So we recite that many, many times. And while we recite the mantra, we imagine from the medicine Buddha in the space in front of us, there's a beautiful light that's coming that enters our whole body and mind. And the light purifies negativities, negative karma, and it brings the blessings and inspiration of the medicine Buddha. And so we think that that really enhances our practice and increases our love and compassion and wisdom. So it's a whole meditation that you do. And when people do that, they can do it alone, they do it in a group. Right now, I think somebody's leading it online.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
It all sounds very, very compassionate. Like along with the compassionate works that you do with the puja, I know that you're also involved in various social welfare activities, like such as offering Buddhist teachings to inmates, homeless people, and at-risk youth. Can you share some of your experiences when teaching these groups of people?
Yeah. We feel very strongly that we should share the Dharma, you know. And I work more with the inmates, the people in prison. I've done that now since 1997 or 98. I never had the intention to do that, but somebody who was incarcerated wrote me a letter and wanted to know about Buddhism. So I started writing back. And so we correspond with people. We have a newsletter that we send them. There's over 1,000 people that we send the newsletter designed specifically for prisoners. We send them Dharma books, and then when possible, we go into the prisons and lead courses. So right now, there's 2 of our monastics who go to a prison that's not too far away, and they go, I think, every other week, and they teach 2 groups there. And it's so, my experience doing that is they teach me much more than I teach them. And you really see how these people change. And some of them become really, really good Dharma practitioners. It's incredible, you know. People who are in for murder, they're in for rape, for burglary, but they're very attracted to the Dharma. And you know what appeals to them the most? When you talk about compassion. And when you talk about that they have the ability to develop compassion for all living beings, that ability is part of our Buddha nature. That is something that speaks so strongly to them.
So they actually needed more compassion in their life.
Yeah. They need other people to be compassionate to them, but they also want to become more compassionate themselves.
Wow.
And so one of the inmates that I write to, he often does counseling in his prison, giving advice to some of the other inmates. And the department, some of the staff members there, the therapists, asked him to help them do some of the counseling. So it's really very, very valuable. And you realize that people who are in prison, they're just like everybody else. Society tends to lock them up and throw away the key and think that they aren't worth anything. And that is not true at all. There's people with a lot of capabilities and a lot of talent. And, they need to be encouraged to, develop that talent. They need more opportunities for education. But they really respond in a very good way.
Yeah, that's very important.
Right. Especially, I think, with the inmates, receiving and giving compassion is important, but self-compassion is also important as well.
Yes. Because many of these people, once they're incarcerated, their families often just stop writing.
Oh.
And, so they feel very alone. The guards do not treat them with respect. They're pushed around and so on. And so I've noticed when I or anybody else, when we go into the prison, we just treat the inmates like we treat everybody else. And for them, for somebody to treat them with respect, like we're used to receiving and giving, on the outside, that is so meaningful to them.
Yeah. So thank you for your compassionate
Thank you.
mind.
Like I said, they teach me much more. I've learned so much from them.
Oh, so now
much.
moving on to the next question. While humanity has never ceased to embark on our outward journeys, we have also constantly journeyed inwards towards our minds. So the population of meditators is steadily increasing in the US. So why do you think people want to meditate?
I think by in general in the US, they're looking just to be more peaceful inside of themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people's lives are very stressful. They work and then they have family to take care of. They have social obligations. Their lives are full and they're very, very stressed. And so I think by and large they want to learn meditation, to learn how to calm their mind. As Buddhist practitioners, we don't teach meditation specifically for that purpose. Of course, it counts, but we try and teach people about karma. What is virtue? What is non-virtue? What should we practice to be good human beings and to have a happy life?
Yeah.
And what should we abandon, in order to be good human beings and have a happy life? So we try and get people thinking about that and teach them how to deal with their anger, how to deal with their greed or their jealousy or their arrogance or their loneliness.
Right.
Yeah. So we find at the beginning this is really something very important to people. It's just something that they can practice in their life that helps them to have better relationships. Then slowly we teach them what samsara is, what nirvana is, why we should strive for nirvana, what the causes for nirvana are, and so on.
Yeah, so we have a lot of jealousy, anxiety, stress going on in our mind. Yeah. So why do you think we are so prone to anxious mind?
I think basically because we focus too much on ourselves.
Oh.
So everything in the world we interpret in terms of how it affects us. So we're always thinking me, I, my, mine, me, I, my, mine. And then how are we going to get everything we want? How are we going to push away everything we don't like?
Right.
There's so many things wrong and we want to have answers and we want to change people so that they're acting better, but we never think of changing ourselves. We always point outwards and blame other people when we're in it.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, this is something that we really try and get people to do, to look inward.
Right.
Because that self-centered mind just makes us anxious. It makes us so tight. Yeah, and so fearful.
I think, as you said, every individual has been impacted in different ways. People grow up in different environments, in different situations. So I think that some people may feel anxious in certain situations while others may not. Why do you think that is?
Well, maybe because of, like you said, how they grew up, their previous experiences. So we are conditioned phenomena. We are affected by our external conditions. We also come into this life with our own karma. And so some people may be more predisposed towards anxiety or anger or whatever. That doesn't mean that we have a permanent personality and we can't change those attributes. We can, and that's one of the reasons for practicing the Buddhist teaching.
So could you tell us how to manage our anxious mind? Would meditation be helpful?
Okay, I think there's a couple of methods. I think one is pay more attention to other people than to ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so immediately when we pay attention, or even to strangers, who looks happy, who looks sad, who looks sick, and even, strangers, they need a smile. When you're talking to a stranger, you call customer service, on the phone. Those people have a hard job. If we talk to them with kindness, when you go to the gas station, when you go to the grocery store, just to be kind to people and speak gently. It's amazing what we can do just by small things like this.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, to family, because people often treat their family worse than they would treat strangers. So just to remember, my family, this is the people I really love. I need to really be kind to them and not just dump all my frustration on them when I get home from work.
Yeah. So first, practicing kindness.
Yeah. So, when you're kind to others, you take the pressure off yourself, the attention off yourself. Yeah. And so, of course, then there's less anxiety. Another meditation to do is to think of the kindness of others. And to really, begin with our friends and our family. Thinking of their kindness is not too difficult.
Yeah.
And then expand that. Think of the kindness of our teachers, of the other people in our lives, and how everything we know, all the talents we have and abilities we have, everything we own, everything depends on the work and the kindness of other living beings. So, we're not strangers. We don't have to live like, are these people going to hurt me or harm me? Oh, I'm so nervous. But to realize that our whole lives, actually, if we look closely, we've been the recipient of a tremendous amount of kindness. And when we can really think about that deeply, a lot of the anxiety kind of recedes and goes into the background because, it renews our faith in humanity. We can trust people. We stop expecting them to be perfect. And we learn to accept them for who they are.
Right. So secondly, we need to be mindful of the moment that we are actually receiving the kindness from other people.
Yeah.
Great. So now, are there more things that we can do? How about the meditation?
Thinking of the kindness of others, that is a meditation.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Oh.
That is, you sit down and you start and you go through the different people in your life, and you think of everything they've taught you, everything they've done for you. When you come to strangers, again, we're so dependent just to stay alive on strangers. They're very kind to us. So when you meditate, like that. Then you think of all these people, the people who made the vehicles that we ride in. Right now we're having a discussion across oceans.
Right.
Who invented the computers?
Right.
Who made all the food that we all ate today?
Right.
Yeah. Who made our clothes? It's all people we don't know. But if it weren't for their efforts, we wouldn't have the lifestyle that we have.
Okay.
So in this meditation, you really go through this very slowly and let yourself feel being the recipient of kindness.
Wow, so that's wonderful. So
Right.
could you please guide us in a meditation so that we can relieve our anxious mind?
Okay, so this is going to be a really short meditation.
Okay, that would be great.
That
Yeah.
would be great.
Okay. So lower your eyes and come home to your breath. Just watch your breath go in and out. And as you exhale, you can imagine exhaling all your anxiety, your fear, your anger, whatever is bothering your mind. So as you exhale, you breathe that out in the form of smoke that then disappears. And then each time you inhale, you imagine that you're inhaling white light, which is the nature of love and compassion. So let's do that for a minute or so. As you do this, really feel your body relax and feel your mind relax. And then let's think of the kindness of others. We take for granted our ability to speak, to read, to write, to understand language and communicate with others. How did we learn to do all that? Who taught us? So think about that. Your parents, various teachers, friends, relatives. Think of how kind they were to teach us how to speak, how to read, how to write. They really had to put a lot of their time and energy into helping us do that. Because when we were born, we couldn't do anything except cry and eat. And then think of the food you ate today. Who grew that? Who worked out in the fields to grow the food you ate? Who harvested it? Who transported it? Who cooked it? Again, we're so dependent on other living beings. just for the food that we ate today. And every day we're dependent on the kindness of others who are involved in the process of our having the food that we eat that sustains our life. Think of what they do and how kind they are to put their life energy in that direction. And then to conclude, just sit for a minute and really experience, really feel being the recipient of so much kindness. Okay. Then open your eyes and come out of your meditation. So that was a very short meditation. You can actually spend a long time doing that, and there's more steps to it as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. I feel
wonderful.
Yeah, I feel gratitude for
Yeah.
for all the beings in the past, in the present, and in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
When we get angry, we're always seeing things from the perspective of me, what we call analytic meditation. So you're thinking about something. You're not just taking all thought out of your mind. And then the more and more you get habituated to seeing things in different ways, then the less anger you have.